Of all the auto brands on the road today, only one has been named the best auto brand for 6 straight years. That brand is Mazda. Come shop and save on the award-winning lineup of new Mazdas right now at Baton Rouge's Mazda dealer, Team Mazda on Airline.
Hi, business owners. Phase 3. Woohoo! But do your customers know you're back? Well, that's where the Clarence Bug Show and Pelican Broadcasting can help. Right now, we've got great rates on advertising packages to help you get the word out. Shoot me an email at bugsclarence@gmail.com. Or better yet, call me up. I'd love to talk with you. 225-485-6839. Let's get together and make Phase 3 the best it can possibly be.
From appetizers, pasta dishes, and entrees, La Contea takes pride in preparing all the Italian cuisine we know you love. Enjoy live music every Thursday through Saturday from 6 to 9, happy hour weekdays from 3 to 6, and brunch on Sundays from 11 to 2, as well as dinner portion-sized lunch specials for under $10. Visit our website to view our menu and book a party or meeting in our large banquet room. Once you try La Contea, your Italian dining will change forever.
They said I could find you here. Why are you fishing? Our company's got to ship out 2 full color brochures and 20 color copies. You're killing me.
It's done. Designed, printed, packaged, and shipped.
How?
You just got to know the right people. Baker Printing, the printing people.
How come you get to fish in this private lake?
Like I said, you just got to know the right people. You can know the right people too.
Hello guys, it's Debbie. It's time. I've got a brand new location. 10510 Airline Highway, Baton Rouge, next to After 5 Tuxedos. We have the perfect spot to get all your wedding and formal wear needs. Come see our one-of-a-kind name brand and get great prices. With 30 years experience, the best customer service anywhere. It's Debbie's Bridal, Airline Highway, Baton Rouge. See you soon.
Hello and welcome to today's edition of the Clarence Bug Show. Here is hoping that all is well in your particular universe as we continue to soldier our way on through 2021. As you probably know by now, particularly if you were with the Exiles in the hour previous to ours, the media community in Baton Rouge, the city itself, and the region today is mourning the loss of one of our own. Our very own Donna Britt, no longer with us after so very many years of being the epitome of Baton Rouge and South Louisiana. She put up a very courageous fight, was very public in that fight, sharing with her extended Baton Rouge and South Louisiana family, the health trials and the travails that she was experiencing. I will always have a very soft spot in my heart for Donna Britt. Having worked with her at Channel 9, the CBS affiliate in Baton Rouge, WAFB, I got to know Donna, and I will never forget the very first time I got assigned to anchor the sports. Worked in the sports department, some of you may well remember, back when it was Steve Snyder, Andre Morrow, and I was the third wheel, if you will, the part-time guy. And as is always the case, at some point, there's a lot going on. This anchor has to go here. The other sports guy has to go there. We need you to anchor. So the very first time, and I had seen her do this before, but I didn't know the intricacies of it. Before the newscast, every day, Donna Britt would go to the weather persons and ask, "What are you leading with?" What's the big story today? And she'd jot that down so that she could be prepared to do the toss to them. Then she would leave the weather department. She'd go to the sports department and ask, okay, what you got today? What are you leading with? So that day, my very first day anchoring sports, sure enough, she came to my desk and she said, Clarence, what do you have today? What are you leading with? And it was a big LSU story that day. And I told her, I said, okay, I'm leading with LSU, whatever. Without batting an eye, Donna said, okay, now what you got for Southern? She understood. Yeah, it's an LSU town, but it's also a two-university town. And there will be people watching that are concerned about LSU, but there will also be tons of people watching that are concerned about Southern. Never once, when Donna came to my desk to ask, what are you leading with? Never once would she allow me to give her the LSU lead and not give one for Southern. That's being the consummate professional. That's understanding your audience. That is understanding, relating to, and being a part of the community that you serve. Now keep in mind, this was back in the early 90s, okay? This was decades before the social justice outcry. This was decades before the unity, inclusion, diversity movement. It wasn't about any of that for Donna. It was about the community that you serve. It was about trying to reach all of the audience, and it was about being a part of the community that you lived in and that you served. It's almost appropriate, and you all will accept this in the spirit that it's given, it's almost appropriate that we didn't have the full-blown Salvation Army red kettles out this past holiday season. Because had it been the norm, where the kettles were everywhere and there were all sorts of people pulling shifts, it would not have been appropriate because Donna Britt would not have been there to take part. I will readily admit, y'all, I'm old. I'm getting up there in age. Thank you, God. I appreciate you more than I can say for that blessing. But at some point, if you live long enough, you start to equate certain things with other things. The red kettles for Christmas, not happening upon Donna Britt at some out-of-the-way store, some Walmart, some mall, some whatever, just doesn't seem right. And listen, I get it. All things change. Everything must change. Nothing remains the same. But we as human beings relate to certain things, and we tie those things in with certain time frames. And for me, for the rest of my life, however long or short that may be, when I see the red kettles, particularly during the holidays in our area, I'll always think of Donna. She is a part of that group of individuals that were consummate professionals. If there is any criticism that I have about media these days, and particularly local media, Donna Britt was a part of that crew, the John Mahaffey's, my late brother Ed Buggs, George Sells, individuals that knew the news. They weren't like you see now, all these, and this is not meant to be ageist, sexist against age, or whatever you term they have for it these days. But the folks you have now are news readers, pure and simple. They have no working knowledge of the topics they're talking about. They get a script and they read it. And even sadder, this is a different show for a different day, you swallow it. But Donna was one of those that had a working knowledge of the things that she presented to us. And in this day and age, that is sorely, sorely needed and sorely missing. She was truly one of a kind. And we are, double-edged sword here, we are richer as a community because we were blessed to have her in our midst, in our homes, 6, 10, 5 days a week. But we are now poorer because her spirit is no longer with us. Now, you can easily make the argument that that's where the community steps in. That's where we continue the spirit of those that have gone on before us. It is never something easy, but it is a part of the natural order of things. So we send our deepest, our sincerest, and our most heartfelt condolences out to her family. She was truly one of those people that put everything she had into making South Louisiana the magical, marvelous, wonderful place that people travel from all over the globe to come and visit. She truly was one of a kind, and she will be missed more than mere words can say. In praying for her family, I also thank God for seeing fit to bless me to be in a place, in a period of time where I got to meet her, get to know her, and work with her. It is a blessing that you cannot quantify. It's one of those things where sometimes you just find yourself saying, well, thank you, God. You saw fit to put me where you put me at the time you put me there. And again, for all of us in South Louisiana, we are so much richer in our life experiences, those of us that had the opportunity to meet the likes of Donna Britt. I know it's an often worn out, overused phrase, but in this case, it certainly is applicable. They don't make them like that anymore. They don't make them like that anymore. She will be sorely missed. No two ways about it. We need to get our first break of today's show out of the way. Did you notice something today and into last night? The moon came up, did its thing. The stars still in the heavens twinkling, doing their thing. Sun came up this morning. World continues to turn on its axis. People are still inhaling, exhaling. And believe it or not, Washington, D.C. is still there. Believe it or not, no armed, violent protest in the state capitals of all 50 states in the Union? The scaremongers got you again. Yep, I'm going to talk about that next on this edition of the Clarence Bugg Show, here and only here on the Pelican. Stay close.
I owed the IRS $10,000.
The IRS garnished my wages.
They put a lien on my house.
I'm self-employed and didn't report all my income. They claim I owe a lot more than I do.
The IRS is the most powerful collection agency in the world. They do not give up until you pay.
I couldn't sleep. We were being audited. I called Tax Solutions Now, and a great big weight was lifted off my shoulders.
I called Tax Solutions Now, and they got the IRS off my back.
Tax Solutions Now had my wage garnishment lifted in 48 hours.
Tax Solutions Now can get you help. Our agents know the rules, can stop the pain, and get you the best deal.
Tax Solutions Now saved my business.
I qualified for the Fresh Start program. I paid less than I owed.
We connect you with a team of former IRS agents and tax professionals who get the IRS off your back. Time is running out. Call Tax Solutions now.
Call 800-778-4345. 800-778-4345.
Live and play on the fairway at Greystone Golf and Country Club, a serene, challenging golf destination located in Denham Springs. For tee times and membership opportunities, go to GreystoneCountryClub.com.
Hi, I'm Hurricane Betsy Barnes.
And I'm Dr. Kay Siller with the Rocket Right Show.
We are two busy blondes on the go showing off life in Louisiana.
Watch us on Pelican Sports Network.
And Talk 107.3 FM. Check local listings for times.
Team Honda wants to thank you for once again making us Louisiana's #1 new car dealer by offering you never-before-seen savings. For the first time ever, get 0% financing up to 60 months on some of your favorite Honda models. Get thousands in savings right now at Team Honda on Siegen Lane.
Bellello's Furniture and Appliances, your dependable independent. Depend on us for service, for selection, for price. Get huge Whirlpool savings. Shop now and save on Whirlpool appliances throughout the store. Plus, experience our price match guarantee and ask about special financing. You can depend on the know-how of people who live appliances every day. Bellello's Furniture and Appliances, your dependable independent with nationwide buying power.
Hi, I'm Bobby Yarborough with Manda Fine Meats. Here at Manda, we know what the folks of South Louisiana love. They love great flavored smoked sausage, delicious deli meats, and specialty items like boudin and andouille sausage. Manda Fine Meats has been providing these products since 1947. We produce them right here in Baton Rouge, so you know you're always getting the freshest product at your local grocery store. Manda Fine Meats. Taste the fresh local flavor in everything we make. Make it Manda every time.
Welcome back to today's edition of the Clarence Bug Show. I guess we can all now collectively, oh boy, that was close. Did you notice something today when you awakened? Sun still came up. Washington, D.C. is not in flames. People are still going about their daily lives. State capitals in all 50 states are doing okay. Funny how that worked out, huh? The scare masters, not the stair masters, you know, the exercise machine, not the scare masters. They got you again, didn't it? Oh my God, there's going to be armed protests in all 50 states and the state capital of all 50 states. Funny how that worked out. 25,000 National Guard troops, Secret Service, Capitol Police, D.C. law enforcement, $7.1 million worth of private security. Checkmate. And not a damn thing happened. Oh, but we gotta be ready for armed insurrection. Not a damn thing happened. Well, with the exception of Portland, where Antifa and BLM rioted again. Disgruntled employees, mostly peaceful, fiery protests. You see how they play you? You know, it occurred to me last night. If you think back in recent memory, you start to see a pattern here. These folks, politicians of the media, have refined this to a science. How many times have you heard me say, if we scare them bad enough, we can take anything we want? Oh, this is a world-ending event, but we can solve it. We can save you. All it's going to cost is a little bit of freedom here. For this event, all it's going to cost is a little bit of liberty here. But we can save you. For this event, all it's going to cost you is a little bit of constitutional rights over here. I was thinking last night, and this pattern, you ever watch Looney Tunes where Yosemite Sam or Daffy Duck or whomever will have this revelation, and all of a sudden on the screen behind their head there are light bulbs flashing. The lights have come on. They're woke. Yeah, wink, wink. It occurred to me, in recent memory, how many world-ending events have the politicians and the media subjected us to? This is in no way, shape, or form the most comprehensive list, but it gives you an idea. In recent memory, there was global cooling. There was acid rain. There was Y2K. There was the bird flu, swine flu, then global warming, the war on terror, H1N1, Ebola. Go back even further, Hong Kong flu, COVID-19, climate change. Now, most recently, systemic racism and white supremacy. You know what all these things have in common, y'all? Aside from the fact that the media and the politicians shove this crap in your face to scare the bejesus out of you into giving up some more liberties, rights, and freedoms. You know what they all have in common? Every single one of them. You can't touch it, taste it, smell it, or feel it. These folks have figured it out. The things that scare the bejesus out of you the most are the things you can't touch, taste, see, or smell. When you get these things, that allows them to then, overnight, become the experts, and we can save you from this. All it's going to cost is a little bit of freedom. All it's going to cost is a little bit of liberty. All it's going to cost is a little bit of your constitutional rights. And by the time you get to the end of the list, all your rights, your freedoms, and your liberties are gone. They have gotten this down to a science. Think about it. The things you cannot touch, taste, see, or smell, they line them up and feed it to you. Global warming. Well, first it was global cooling. Now it's climate change. Can't see it, touch it, taste it, or smell it. But it can scare the bejesus out you. Oh, the world's ending. In 10 years, sea levels are going to rise so high, we're going to lose thousands of miles of land. But then Obama turns around and spends $14 million on a mansion on the beachfront. H1N1, Ebola, bird flu, swine flu, H1N1. You can't see it, touch it, taste it, or smell it. But it'll scare the bejesus out of you. Whew, thank you, Lord, I didn't get Ebola. You see how this works? White supremacy, systemic racism. You can't see it, touch it, smell it, or taste it. But they can fix it. And all it's going to cost you is a little bit of freedom. Starting to see a pattern here? How many things in your lifetime have been sold to you as, we got to do something about this right now, or it's going to be the end of things as we know it? And you notice something about all of these things? The first thing they tell you it's going to take to defeat this new enemy that you can't touch, taste, see, or smell, first thing they need is a whole lot more of your money. The Green New Deal. Y2K. Well, we can fix it, but we need trillions of dollars to revamp all the computers and all the alarm clocks and all this other stuff, okay? First thing they need is a whole lot more of your money. And after they scare the bejesus out of you, after it does not come to fruition, oh, well, it's on to the next thing. Just so you know, you got 4 more years of it coming, Hoss. If you think it's going to stop with, oh, we're going to have violent armed protests in all 50 states and all 50 state capitals, not a damn thing happened. If you think this is the end of the fear-mongering, my friend, you are in for a rude awakening. We ain't gotten started yet. We are nowhere near getting into this playbook yet. And the media wonders why. Most recent left-leaning poll out there shows Americans' trust in media is at an all-time low. No. If you scare them bad enough, they'll give us everything they got. You just might want to remember, y'all. And I forget who coined the phrase, so I cannot give appropriate due. But it is as true as the day is long. Always remember, a government big enough to give you everything you want is a government big enough to take everything you have. Sadly, they have long since to realize we don't have to take it, just scare them bad enough and they'll give it to us. Do you know how many people watched yesterday's inauguration events like this, just waiting for the bombs to start blowing up? You know how many people were checking their local news feeds to see if there were violent armed protests at their state capitol? 25,000 National Guardsmen, $7 million worth of private security, Secret Service, Capitol Police, D.C. law enforcement. And the only folks that rioted were those on the left. Some of y'all ain't gonna get that till later. But that's okay, as long as you get it. Bottom of the hour break. Gonna bang it out. Speaking of the media, that's next on the Clarence Buggs Show. Stay close.
Got termites? Get Premier Pest. PremierPestServices.com.
Hi, I am Dr. Farrell Frugier Jr., and I am a general dentist at Frugier Family Dentistry. I was born and raised in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. I went to Catholic High School, LSU, and LSU School of Dentistry in New Orleans, where I received my DDS degree in 1986. I always have and will continue to be committed to continuing my education, to invest in technology which makes the diagnosis and delivery of dentistry more thorough, more comfortable, and more aesthetically pleasing. In our practice, we are here to serve the patients. We want to improve their quality of life and to develop relationships with our patients. In dentistry, we have a chance to impact lives on a daily basis, not just by doing dentistry, but by getting to know them and being a part of their life. We also believe in giving back to our community. So every year, we give back to the Greater Baton Rouge Food Bank, Toys for Tots, and Mary Bird Perkins Cancer Center. Please stop by and visit our office. We would love to take care of you and your family.
Jaguar Nation, we need your help in masking up Louisiana.
Masks help us slow the spread of COVID-19.
During this time, we must continue to wear a mask, wash our hands, and practice social distancing.
It's important that we continue to abide by the CDC's guidelines to stop the spread.
Jaguar Nation, we challenge you to mask up. Go Jags!
Hello guys, it's Debbie. It's time. I've got a brand new location. 10510 Airline Highway, Baton Rouge, next to After 5 Tuxedos. We have the perfect spot to get all your wedding and formal wear needs. Come see our one-of-a-kind name brand and get great prices. With 30 years experience, the best customer service anywhere. It's Debbie's Bridal, Airline Highway, Baton Rouge. See you soon.
Caught spiders?
Premier Pest Services.
Welcome back to today's edition of the Clarence Bug Show. Surprise, surprise, surprise. That's the best Gomer I got. I'm sorry. That's the best I got. Yeah, I was a huge Jim Neighbors fan back in the day, Gomer Pyle, USMC, but that's the best I got. We now find out from the purveyors of truth that what we told y'all about the insurrection in our nation's capital, well, it might not have necessarily been true.
They had a permit?
No. The whole media narrative behind the events at the Capitol, and the premise, by the way, for the second impeachment was that Donald Trump instigated, egged on, caused people to take over the Capitol. That narrative has been repeated ad nauseum through every single liberal, left-leaning media outlet on the planet. Well, the Washington Post and CNN LOL have now both come out admitting that the president didn't incite this. Not that they came out on their own and did this. They were forced to do it after court records showed the opposite. One day before the inauguration, the Washington Post and CNN admits the WAPO, as they're called, Washington Post. Headline: self-styled militia members planned on storming the U.S. Capitol days in advance. It opens with the following: self-styled militia members from Virginia, Ohio, and other states made plans to storm the U.S. Capitol days in advance of the January 6th attack, and then communicated in real time as they breached the building on opposite sides and talked about hunting for lawmakers, according to court documents filed Tuesday. While authorities have charged more than 100 individuals in the riot, details in the new allegations against 3 members paint a disturbing picture at what they allegedly said to one another before, during, and after the attack. It's not until several paragraphs later where the Washington Post writes, the arrests this weekend of several people with alleged ties to far-right extremist groups suggest that the riot was not an entirely impulsive outburst of violence, but an event instigated or exploited by organized groups. So let me get this straight. Instead of waiting on an investigation, instead of doing the due diligence yourself, you took it upon yourself to paint a false picture and spread it everywhere. Now, here's the problem, aside from the fact that you flat out lied. Aside from that fact, you spent days on end, hour after hour after hour after hour, telling a flagrant lie. And then you come back with one little story and say, oh, never mind. See, what had really happened was, see how they play you? You see how they play you? Meanwhile, they manage to turn American against American. They manage to, if that lie in and of itself weren't bad enough, then they spread it all across the country. Oh, well, they're going to be armed, violent protests in the state capitals of all 50 states. You take one lie in D.C. and then you spread it to all 50 states. Oh, we got to keep them scared. Got to keep them scared. You see how they play you? But if there's any good news in all of this, it's that Americans, my fellow Americans, are waking up to this crap. Anytime a far left-leaning website, Axios, conducts a poll on Americans' trust in the media, and the numbers are what the numbers are, it tells you Americans are waking up. Axios is as far left as you will find. And recently, they conducted a poll about how we Americans feel about the media. This is far left, y'all. According to their poll, a majority of Americans, 56% of Americans, know that, quote, journalists and reporters are purposely trying to mislead people by saying things they know are false or gross exaggerations. Duh. The poll goes on to say, an even larger majority, 58%, know that, quote, most news organizations are more concerned with supporting an ideology or political position than informing the public. No crap. According to their far left poll, 82% of Republicans don't trust the media. Now get this number from a far left website. 43% of Democrats don't trust the media. Now, the quote specifically, the two quotes specifically, 58% know that, quote, most news organizations are more concerned with supporting an ideology or political position than informing the public. The other quote, and this is the rub in all of this. A majority of 56% of Americans know that, quote, journalists and reporters are purposely trying to mislead people by saying things they know are false or are gross exaggerations. So in conducting this poll, Axios decided to explore, how do we fix this? Well, us evil folk that possess common sense, we would come to the conclusion, okay, we don't trust you because you're lying. You want to fix it? Stop lying. End the problem. Right? Pretty simple solution. Nah, not for these folk. Not for these folk. Their solution to this, from the Washington Post, media columnist Margaret Sullivan writes, quote, our goal should go beyond merely putting truthful information in front of the public. We should also do our best to make sure it's widely accepted. In other words, when we do lie to you, you got to accept it no matter what we say. But then it goes further. She calls on the fourth, apparently, branch of government, CEOs. They're at the top of the list. If we can get CEOs to tell America, well, this is true, then they'll believe it. You know what the irony is here? It is the left that feeds the narrative, and the mainstream media that feeds the narrative. CEOs are the most ungodly people on the planet. Have y'all seen what CEOs are making? Have y'all seen the policies that they're trying to shove down the workers' throats? But all of a sudden, if the CEOs embrace it and feed it to the people, they'll believe it. You see how they play you? Of course, now, they can only continue to do that if you continue to be a dummy. But y'all gonna still worship at the altar of CNN tonight when you get home, aren't you? Final break of today's show. Put that big old pretty bow on this puppy and wrap up. See how they play you edition of the Clarence Bugg Show. Stay close.
Hi, I'm Bobby Yarborough with Manda Fine Meats. Here at Manda, we know what the folks of South Louisiana love. They love great flavored smoked sausage, delicious deli meats, and specialty items like boudin and andouille sausage. Manda Fine Meats has been providing these products since 1947. We produce them right here in Baton Rouge, so you know you're always getting the freshest product at your local grocery store. Manda Fine Meats. Taste the fresh local flavor in everything we make. Make it Manda every time.
From appetizers, pasta dishes, and entrees, La Contea takes pride in preparing all the Italian cuisine we know you love. Enjoy live music every Thursday through Saturday from 6 to 9, happy hour weekdays from 3 to 6, and brunch on Sundays from 11 to 2, as well as dinner portion-sized lunch specials for under $10. Visit our website to view our menu and book a party or meeting in our large banquet room. Once you try La Contea, your Italian dining will change forever.
We're making 2021 the year of savings, and it starts right now at Team Toyota. Come get a new 21 Corolla for just $189 a month, or get a 20 Camry for just $19,995. It's a year full of savings starting right now, right here at Team Toyota.
No one can stop me when I taste the feeling. Nothing could ever bring me down. Nothing could ever bring me down. Taste the feeling.
Sometimes life is wonderful, and sometimes it's not. Cherish the good, but always be prepared for life's challenges. At Private Healthcare, we provide the peace of mind you deserve. With Private Healthcare, you'll get the coverage you want and healthcare you need. If your employer doesn't supply healthcare coverage and you don't qualify for Medicare or Medicaid, you need to give us a call right now. Private Healthcare is private health insurance for ages 65 and under with medical, dental, vision, and even prescription coverage. When life comes at you unexpectedly, you need to be ready, and health insurance is your financial safety net. Health insurance has never been so easy and affordable. If you're looking for health coverage at the best price and your annual household income is $35,000 or more, call the number on the screen now and speak with a live healthcare consultant. Don't wait. Get the coverage you need now.
Welcome back to the final segment of today's edition of the Clarence Bug Show. I forgot to share something with you in our second segment. If you were not with us, I talked specifically about the list of things that we have been subjected to as Americans in recent memory, designed to scare the bejesus out of people. Things that none of them happened, by the way. But they were all things that you can't see, touch, taste, or smell. And you've heard the adage that the things people fear the most, it's said a couple of ways. One, the thing that people fear the most is the unknown. The other is the things that people are most afraid of are the things they can't see. I listed all these things we've been through in recent memory. Y2K, acid rain, global cooling, climate change, systemic racism, Ebola. Just go down the list. But at some point, maybe it's human nature, you run out of things that you can add to the list to scare the bejesus out of people. Then you have to get creative. You go back and you look at the list and you pull a couple out and you combine them into a new fear or a way to get more out of people. For example, couple of members of Joe Biden's climate policy Advisory Committee. Maggie Thomas, former climate advisor to Senator Elizabeth Warren, currently the political director for the far-left environmental advocacy group Evergreen Action, and Cecilia Martinez, another left-wing climate wacko, are both now members of the President's Climate Advisory Committee. They are now telling us that climate change is a direct result of, wait for it, systemic racism. Now let me get this right. Climate change is not about too many cars, too many factories, too many cows farting, all of this combined to change the climate. We're now told that it is systemic racism that's causing climate change. Quote, unless intentionally interrupted, systemic racism will continue to be a major obstacle to creating a healthy planet. This is Ms. Martinez in a 2019 press release touting her equitable and just climate platform. It continues, quote, the only path forward is to design national climate policies that are centered on justice. Such policies require massive government spending. Remember that? And the realignment of public dollars at all levels. They demand, quote, trillions of dollars in public investment, not only to crack down on oil production, watch out Louisiana, and shift away from the nation's fossil fuel economy, but also to fund welfare programs including rent and utility relief. So now, systemic racism is causing climate change. And these two yahoos are working directly in the presidential administration. Like I said, you can't make this stuff up. Like I said, we're just getting started. You got 4 more years of this kind of crap. It's amazing to me how we as Americans have completely forsaken common sense and deductive reasoning. Marty and I were talking during the last break, and I said, you know, I guess after you've been led around by your nose for so long, told what to think, how to think, and everything else in your life, you become accustomed to it. You expect it. You don't know how to function without it. But it is truly a sad day in America when we, the people, need social media, mainstream media, politicians to think for us. Of course, now, there was a time in this country, not so very long ago, where common sense and deductive reasoning would take care of all of this. Maybe, just maybe. That's why our education institutions no longer focus on teaching these things. I mean, after all, if you can think for yourself, we can't control you. If you can look at something for what it is, add 1 and 1 and still get 2, we can't control you. So we need to get people in education institutes like the professor that says, well, 1 and 1 is racist. I mean, who says 1 and 1 is 2? If I take 1 chicken and 1 rooster, put them together, come back tomorrow, and the hen has laid an egg, then 1 and 1 is 3. Never realizing, okay, what if they had 2 eggs? Then 1 and 1 is 4. What if they had 3 eggs? Then 1 and 1 is 5. So there is no right answer. It never ends. And these are the people that are teaching your children. These are the people that are shaping, making, and molding tomorrow's leaders. Like this clown at University of Wisconsin Riverfields this week that came out and said, well, calling people by their correct gender pronoun, that's more important than grammar. Really? So if it's better to say you be's a man than it is to say, dude, your chromosomes say you're male. And to add insult to injury, they charge you for it. If you know anything about Ivy League schools, you may not know anything about what they teach, you may not know anything about their political leanings. You do know one thing: it's going to cost your child, or you, as the case may be, an arm and a leg. Just a little something to think about. Those of you that happen to be members of the community of faith, I know for a fact that Donna Britt's family would not mind in the least if you would be so kind this weekend at some point to keep them in your thoughts and in your prayers. Personally, I would consider it a personal favor as well. Time's up, and I gotta go. But this day, just like any other, you hear me say, you know what? You're right. America, we are not perfect. But for this old boy's money, it's still the best there is. And God knows there's no place else on his green earth that I'd rather be. Speaking of the good Lord, you do realize by now that he loves you, right? And I hope you know that I do too. Best news you're going to get all day, son. There ain't a doggone thing you can do about either one. We'll see you soon. God bless.